At the start of the movie, we are taught two snakes. One is a white snake and the other is a green snake. Both snakes are sisters. They looked very young, but they were more than 1,000 years old. The name of the white snake is Susan. Both had the ability to take the form of a human. One day, the two snakes see a boy on the mountain. His name is Xian. Xian was tasting the flowers on the mountain. Both snakes are surprised by this. Does a human eat flowers? Actually, Xian has come there with his friends to search for herbs. Xian is moving alone through the mountains. Then the green snake comes, there is a snake and scares Xian. Because of fear, Xian leaves the mountain and falls into the river. Seeing this, the white snake, i.e. Susan, feels pity for Xian. And she feels very bad for Xian. That's why Susan takes the form of a human and goes into the river. She breathes to Xian and saves his life. After helping Xian and saving his life, Susan leaves there. When Xian opens his eyes, he finds his friends all around him. He asks his friends where the girl who saved his life has gone. His friends say that there was no girl here. In fact, it was just your imagination. On the same day, a festival was going to be celebrated in the village. In this festival, the temple, i.e. the master of the temple, and his companions were also going with him. Because they had a doubt that the monsters in this festival were going to kill humans. Xian is going there with herbs. That's why he takes the temple master and his companions with him. On the other hand, the white snake, i.e. Susan, after breathing to Xian and helping him, she is missing that moment a lot. How did she save his life? By breathing to Xian. She was continuously thinking about Xian. In fact, she was in love with Xian. Susan tells her sister, i.e. the green snake, that I want to meet the boy with whom I breathed and saved his life. That's why they both go to the festival to be held in the village. On the same night, the master and his companions also came with their full preparation to face the monsters. Because they knew that the monsters could attack humans at any time. In the festival, the green snake meets the master's companion. Because the green snake liked him. Because he wanted to be friends with him. But the master's companion says that, I can't talk to you right now. Because here I have come to catch those monsters who are going to attack humans. But what did he know that the girl, who wants to be friends with him, who is talking to him, is also a monster. But then the green snake sees Xian. She goes to him and says, that my sister loves you. And she also wants to meet you. Xian says that I don't know your sister. He refuses to meet his sister. That's why the green snake falls into the river. And the boat in which Xian was in, he pushed that boat and took it to his sister. As soon as Xian comes to Susan, he tells her that I love you. Xian says that I love someone else. But I don't know who that girl is. She saved my life by breathing to me. Hearing this, Susan immediately understands that he is talking about me. And he also loves me the way I love him. To make him believe, Susan takes him into the water again. And he also makes him realize that he loves me. The one who saved his life. Now Xian had also found out that this is the girl. The master's companion sees some monsters. That's why he bravely fights those monsters. But during this competition, a monster bites the master's companion. That's why he calls his master for help. That's when the master comes there. Who competes with them? He takes them to hell. And burns them there. Next day, Susan goes to Xian's house. Xian is very happy to see her in his house. They both start living together. And one day they get married. When the master's companion was competing with the monsters on the day of the festival. Then a monster had bitten him. That's why the master's companion was turning into a monster. He gets very upset about this. And he was fed up with his life. That if he becomes a monster, he will become a threat to humans. That's why he goes to a deserted place and commits suicide. When he is doing this, a green snake comes there. She asks him, why are you doing this? Please don't do this. Then the master's companion replies, that I will become a monster. So I can't be a threat to humans. That's why I want to commit suicide and die. Hearing this, the green snake tells him her reality. She shows him her snake tongue. And says that if you become a monster, there is no problem. I am also a monster. After this, we see the master who goes to the village. He sees that there were victims of monsters there. They were in trouble and were facing difficulties. That's why Xian used to make herbs to save people and help them. But Susan knew that those monsters had attacked them, which are very powerful and dangerous monsters. That's why they are not going to be cured with just herbs. So Susan puts her breath in those herbs to help her husband Xian and save their lives. Susan had a friend, a mouse. That mouse tells Susan, "What are you doing? You are breathing. You know that this is no less than a threat to you. You will become weak by giving your breath." But Susan had to help her husband Xian and the people. When Xian gives his herbs to the people of the village, they start getting better. They start becoming normal. The master is shocked to see this. Because the master knew that, whatever happened, these people were not going to be cured. But now the master is surprised to see them getting better. And he doesn't understand anything. That's why he asks Xian, "Did someone help you to make these herbs?" To which Xian says, "Yes, my wife helped me to make these herbs." The master had found out that his wife is not a normal person. In fact, she is a monster. That's why the master gives a holy knife to Xian for his safety. Then the master goes to Susan and tells her, "Why are you doing this? You became a monster and married a human. And you live with humans as humans. But now I am not telling you anything. I am leaving you because you are a good monster. You leave Xian and go. Otherwise, the result will not be good. And I will kill you." Saying this, the master leaves. At night, when Xian comes home, he brings wine. And this is not a normal wine. In fact, medicine is added to it, so that the poison does not spread by the bite of the snake. But Susan was a snake herself. Xian also gives that wine to Susan. After drinking the wine, Susan feels strange. She starts feeling sick. That's why she locks herself in a room. Xian asks her many times, "Why are you doing this? Are you angry with me for something?" To which Susan cannot control herself and becomes a snake. To catch Susan, the master also comes there. And they face each other. Xian then stabs Susan with the same holy knife, which was given by the master. Because he did not know that this white snake is my wife. As soon as the knife is placed, Susan comes to her sister, the green snake. Now because Susan was killed with this holy knife. So now she could never take the form of a human again. In fact, she will remain a snake. Xian asks the master, "Where is my wife?" To which the master says that actually this white snake was your wife. You married a snake whose age was more than 1,000 years. Xian was shocked to hear that my wife was a snake. Susan's friend, the rat, tells Xian that there is a herb with which Susan's life can be saved. But it is risky to get that herb, and is not free of any danger, because there is a shadow of monsters there. But despite this, Xian goes there. And with courage, he gets that herb. But the shadow of those monsters falls on Xian. That's why all the master's companions try to save Xian. The rat goes and gives that herb to Susan, with which his life is saved. And now she could take the form of a human again. As soon as Susan recovers, she attacks the master and his companions. Because she understood that these people want to separate Xian and him. Somehow, Susan brings Xian to a place. She asks Xian, "Are you okay?" But Xian's memory was lost. He could not remember anything. And he had also forgotten his wife Susan. Susan asks the master, "What did you do to my husband Xian? Because he has forgotten me." But after a while, Xian remembers everything. And he becomes completely normal. But Susan was a monster. That's why the master uses his power to build an ancient house. And imprisons Susan in it forever. It was impossible to get out of that house. But Xian spends his whole life waiting for his wife Susan outside that building. The master's companion had also become a monster. But he was a good monster. And he stayed with the master forever. This is where the movie ends. Thank you for watching.